Show.
Right here in the living room of some home in the Quad City area.
You know, I think you have more relationships, more friends, well, by your job. I think you have a higher quantity of friends and people who know you than I have people who know me. I'm talking about in our neighborhoods in northern Arizona. I think you do, and I think you would agree with that.
Well,
more people know you than know me.
If we went back to Los Angeles, that would be a whole different story.
Well, maybe, but everybody who knows you probably loves you. And I'm not buttering you up.
Emphasis on the probably.
No. Come on. I mean, you're a pastor at a church. You know, people love what you do.
Oh.
But I got to tell you, let me get to my point.
Okay.
Quit being humble.
All right.
I mean, a lot of people, significant amount of people like you, and a significant amount of people love you. And I do too, but I'm still upset that it's not the Bo and Ronnie podcast. It's not fair. Not fair.
You know, it didn't have the same roll off the tongue sort of the Ronnie and Bo show.
Yeah, you're going to say Bo rhymes with show, but we could have done the Bo and Ronnie something.
Yeah, Bo and Ronnie
podcast, honey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is still, regardless of what order we put it in, it's the best, worst podcast you've ever listened to.
Did I feign upset enough for you?
You did. You're a good actor.
I love Ronnie and Bo.
Yeah, I don't love you, but
no, I said I love Ronnie and Bo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do love you, Bo.
All right.
But yeah, today we're talking about motivating your kids, and that's always a big topic. We'll get to that in just a minute. But
I love to spank my kids. What are you talking about? Motivating my kids?
Can we do that anymore? I don't even know if that's able to do that anymore.
All right, we'll get into that.
We will. But the Daily Dose first. And I remembered some dumb sayings, you know, sometimes politicians or actors or, you know, even just people you've heard people say stupid things that sound interesting at the time, and then you think about it for about 2 seconds and you go, that doesn't even make any sense.
Do you have examples?
Well, I remembered in my teen years watching a Robin Williams stand-up performance.
Okay.
And he gave a funny line about at the time President Reagan had made a nonsensical statement. President Reagan said, "What would this country be without this great land of ours?"
Yeah, that's a good example.
What? You know? Yeah. And from the same time period, his wife Nancy,
it would be a barge in the ocean.
Yeah, right. No,
without land matter?
What does that even mean? His wife Nancy, same time period, said, "I believe there would be many people alive today if there were a death penalty." Huh? What? I don't get it. And then Dan Quayle, who was VP.
Yes.
I love this one. It isn't pollution that is hurting the environment. It's the impurities in our air and water that are doing it.
But that was the same guy that couldn't spell potato.
Potato, yeah.
And I can make fun of that, but don't ask me how to spell potato.
No, exactly. Yeah, I know. So there's your daily dose for the day.
All right.
But do you motivate your kids, Bo? I mean, do you need
kids.
to? Like you?
Well,
we've got good kids.
Know. Yes,
we've
we
got
have good
amazing kids that are pretty self-motivated. Yours are, mine are.
That's a good point. Yeah. No, our kids are good kids. We're very, very fortunate. Don't know how that happened, but there are antiquated ways of motivating kids. I was joking about spanking, right? Does that motivate?
I know. Goodness, the threat of it maybe, but I don't even remember. I got little SWAT. Very gentle. It wrecked me, but I don't remember the last time we've even talked about spanking. So.
No, motivating your kids. I mean. No, that's interesting. And there's no manual to parenting, right?
No, there isn't. It's a tough one. We're all just shooting in the dark. We don't know what we're doing.
I mean, I think you try to encourage them. Is that motivating?
Yeah, I think
tell them how smart and
sure. You want
handsome and pretty they are, and you're just a really good kid, and we're very proud of you. Is that are those motivating?
I think so. But there's moments, as your kids grow up, where you for whatever reason, it might be athletics, it might be academics or whatever, where you feel like you need to give a little bit of more of a shove. Or
I do. We do. You just reminded me in soccer, and this was not to motivate. Maybe it was, but it was also for fun.
Yeah.
When they're 4 or 5 playing soccer and running through the grass up to their shins, we said, for every goal you get, we'll buy you a toy. Is that horrible?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's borderline horrible. But there are those that used to drive me nuts as a kid.
Yeah.
In school, I got straight A's all the way through.
Okay.
And I'd get a report card back, and I would get oh, good job, Ronnie, great job.
And you wanted
my
more?
My friend that pulling D's all semester and eked out a C at the end of the school year, and his parents bought him a car.
Oh, man.
Like, come on.
Well,
I guess they needed more of the motivation, but when you're a good kid, often you finish last.
Yeah, I've done things that would be considered motivating, but I'm not doing it, I don't think, for motivation.
Right. Yeah.
So my son's in Little League Baseball.
Yeah.
And,
good
well,
player.
We could do a whole podcast on Little League Baseball.
And maybe we will.
And you know what? If we did the whole podcast and spent that time on Little League Baseball, they still wouldn't get the ball from the outfield to the infield faster than the time we spent on a podcast, right?
Yeah, to watch,
No, so and these kids are pitching now.
Yeah.
It's not coach pitch. They're pitching. These kids, so these 9 and 10-year-olds are pitching.
Yeah.
And it's skipping across the dirt. And
you do need to find some way to motivate.
Yeah, but are you motivating them? I mean, if you motivate your son, who is pitching that day, I mean, if you give him, is it going to correct his release? Is it going to correct his grip? Son, I did this though. So my son was pitching. They play all positions. And it was his time to pitch. And I said to him, his last game was a couple of days ago, and I said, son, if you get 7 strikeouts. Now, I'm not saying this because he's not striking out enough people. So that's where I'm a little confused.
Okay, so
is it motivating or is it just for fun?
Or reward or encouragement or something. Okay,
it's just for fun. So and it might be anyways, we'll debate whether it's doing more harm. But I said to him, if you strike out 7 in this game, now keep in mind he's only going to pitch for about 4 innings of the game. So there's a mathematical equation there, but if you strike out 7 people in this game, I'll give you $50.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you just did that with my son. You guys were at our house.
Oh, yeah?
And he threw a football into our basketball hoop, switched it on the first try. So the second try, you said, if you do it again, I'll give you $20.
This was a 40-yard football throw into the net of a basketball.
Right. So it doesn't need to be a motivation, but it's a financial reward.
So wait a minute. I forgot that I did that. I do a lot of things, and then 30 seconds later I forget, and then people bring it up, and I go, I did that?
Yeah.
But that's proven to me that I've got a gambling problem. It's not a motivational factor.
There are some of those medications that people take where one of the side effects you've heard on the commercials, side effects include intense gambling urges. Like, that's so weird to me.
Runny stools.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe you're
gambling
taking some
urges.
medication that's making you do this to your children.
But I did this, and so you when you're with your kid, you're shouting at your kid.
Right.
You're not shouting at him, but it's not doing any good.
Yeah.
So
you've bet him $50
kind of guy.
if he gets 7
strikeouts.
Okay.
And so you sit there and you say, all right, just throw it down the middle, son. Relax, son. All right, let him hit it, son. Right? And that's what you're doing. And are you not ruining him by doing that? Just be quiet and let him concentrate and do what he can do.
Yes.
And he's pitching, and now it's too late for me to give him a pep talk from the stands. So I'm watching him do his thing.
Yep.
And he strikes the first kid out. And I see him take his arm, and what is that? He pounds it in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He doesn't say yes, but he gives that motion in that arm. And
he's counting the money already.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it from afar, and I said, well, that's pretty cute that he did that, and that shows me that he's
motivated,
concentrating, and he's motivating.
Yeah.
And then he makes a couple of more pitches, and he eventually gets his second kid out.
Yeah.
Second strikeout. And he's on the mound, and he turns to me, holds his hands up, takes his glove off, puts it in his armpit, holds his hands up. 10 more, Dad. And I just shrink. And he puts his glove back on and starts pitching again.
Oh, my goodness.
And he ended the game with 6 strikeouts. He didn't get it.
Oh, man. So did you give him the money anyway?
No, but I took him to Sonic, and we got a milkshake. And,
that's good.
You know, a 9-year-old wants a milkshake more than $50.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It was almost worth $50.
That's true.
So.
My son Braddock played flag football when he was 5 years old, and on his team there was one other player that was the tiniest little kid ever. He was way smaller than any of the other kids, and he kept getting clobbered all season long. The last game of the year, we thought we're going to give him the ball, we're going to get him a touchdown before the season's over. And so you're trying to figure out how do you motivate that or whatever, and we hand him the ball. He got clobbered. I mean, didn't even get an inch. The next time, gave him the ball and knocked the ball out. We didn't lose the ball, but
wow.
He was just hammered, and he didn't get up. And he started crying. And so I picked him up, and I said, "Are you okay?" And you know, and he could hardly even put words together. And I said, "I need to know: are you hurt or are you just sad?"
Okay.
That's questions they don't ask in the NFL, right? You know,
no.
And so I said, "Are you hurt or are you just sad?" And he said, "I'm just sad." And I said, "Okay." His name was Colton. I said, "Colton, we need to turn your sad into mad.
Nice.
Can we do that?"
That's motivating.
Yeah, and he said, "I can do that." And we hiked him the ball, and he plowed through the whole group of people, and he scored a touchdown. The team went crazy, and he turned the sad into mad. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, but past that, I have no clue what I'm doing motivating my kids. And, yeah, that's the debate. And you can comment below, I guess, on whether or not we're screwing up our kids or, how much motivation is needed, or if you have any good motivation. Comment below.
Yeah, give us some tips.
Yeah, we need help.
We don't know what we're doing.
We need help.
You know, our kids are in school and we're sitting here doing a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So that's screwing them up. Once they listen to us, they'll be screwed up even more.
Great to see you and great to talk to you, Ron.
That's for sure. Have a good day.